Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day and God bless you. Let's get into the news. Joe Biden's physician found skin cancer on his chest last month, which was successfully removed and there's no further treatment required. However, former White House doctor to Obama and Trump Ronnie Jackson controversially suggested that Biden's medical team is hiding the results of a cognitive test to distract from his alleged mental unfitness in running the United States. First Lady Joe Biden, or Jill Biden, said her husband is mentally well and that no one should be speaking about his mental health. Now let me know your thoughts down below. Is 80-year-old Joe Biden mentally fit to run one of the largest economies in the world and the largest military in the world? Let me know your thoughts down below. Liberal comedian Joe Rogan said there is no way he would vote for Joe Biden again. He's mentally gone, he said, and his cabinet is a sideshow of diversity, essentially saying that Biden and the White House have only hired people based on their skin color and their sexual orientation and not based on their skills or their merit. Trump is no longer alone and having an official challenger. Author Marianne Williamson has announced that she will be running for president against Joe Biden. She stated, "You can appreciate what the president has done defeating the Republicans in 2020 and still feel it's time to move on. I'm running for president to help bring an Arbor operational chapter of our history to a close and to help bring forth a new beginning." Miss Williamson is a moderate Democrat who has authored many books and believes that leading through love is the best way to reunite the country. She said the United States is too divided, and I'll continue to keep you updated on her and her platform over the next 20 or so months. China's potential for providing military weapons to Russia is concerning. Representative Mike Turner warned in an NBC interview that such support could greatly impact Ukraine and shift the dynamics of the conflict. The situation is already difficult, and China's involvement could exacerbate or worsen the situation. Though China is currently publicly advocating for peace, their stance could change very quickly, depending on Russia and NATO's threats towards Russia. Now, did you know that China has the ability to make twice as many weapons of war as the United States and has been in production for many years as they build up their own army and navy? This has many concerned about the United States' staying power if they in fact had to defend Taiwan from all the way across the Pacific Ocean. And Russia may feel concerned very soon, as America has now started training Ukrainian pilots to fly F-16 fighter jets. Officials have claimed that they're simply conducting a test on how long it would take to officially train a pilot from Ukraine. But this seems to have real-world application, meaning that Joe Biden said sending tanks to Ukraine would initiate World War III. Then they trained people, then they are going to send the tanks. Now he's saying we're not going to send fighter jets that would start World War III. Now they are training people to fly fighter jets. What do you think? Fill in the blank? What's the next move right now? NBC News has sent reporter Keir Simmons to the heart of the action in Russia-occupied Sevastopol. Simmons stated this is the closest that any U.S. news crew has got to the Russian Black Sea Fleet in many years. With this said, what Simmons found out was shocking. He said, "Excuse me, Simmons." He stated the people there or view themselves as Russian, not Ukrainian. Vladimir Putin will be determined to defend that port, to not have it taken away from him. He may well do pretty much anything to try to achieve that. Now, after making these comments, the reporter concluded that the town is heavily occupied by the Russian military. And it's unlikely that it will be liberated by the Ukrainian military, due to the sheer size of Russian control in the region. So basically, Ukraine is not going to be able to go down and recapture this area. And even if they did, they may not want to, as they're now mostly Russian people. But let me know your thoughts down below. Seems like they're wanting to recapture this region and Crimea versus defending the other parts of Ukraine. Now, the last few days have been especially hard on Ukraine's military in the region of Bakhmut, where the average soldier is dying within 4 hours of entering the fight. Basically, if you're assigned to that area, it's a death wish. It's horrible. I hate it. I hate reporting on all of this. Now, gratefully, the Russian army ran out of ammo over the weekend and had to temporarily fight with shovels. And many analysts, military analysts, believe that Russia will take the region and Ukraine will lose another territory to Russia. So lots going on. Make sure to go back and watch my interview with Colonel Douglas Macgregor. Neither one of us want this damage to be happening to Ukraine. But we're both trying to tell the truth about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. It was a great interview. Now the situation in Ohio continues to worsen as another train has derailed. Thankfully, this train was not carrying poisonous hazardous chemicals. However, the crash is from the same company, Norfolk Southern, that was responsible for the now famous Ohio train crash, which spilled liquid vinyl pollution chemicals into the water and into the air. These frequent train crashes are really starting to concern me. It's an issue that Pete Buttigieg definitely needs to fix. And as much as he wants to wash his hands and say that this is Trump, he is the man on watch right now. And he is the one that these train wrecks are happening basically under his time in office. Now the House Select Committee that's investigating the handling of the COVID pandemic has accused Dr. Anthony Fauci of misleading Congress and the American people. The committee stated that Dr. Fauci prompted the creation of a report that would The author of the paper reportedly skewed available evidence to achieve their conclusion. Fauci is currently being accused by some Republicans of funding gain-of-function research in China through backchannels and creative methods. This is a huge deal, because President Barack Obama made this illegal in the United States once they realized how dangerous it was, but wanting to be, this creative new scientist, they shipped it to China, and then found all these backchannels for getting the money into China. So I don't know what's really happening. I'm not blaming Fauci, but I am using my brain, and this looks very suspicious. He funds researchers to go get the report he wants, and then points to that report to distract people from believing that it was a lab leak theory. So his fingerprints are all over this. And I think if there is wrongdoing, they are going to sniff it out. Now former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who was the former head of the CIA, said he believes that Fauci is complicit in a cover-up, and that he should be pulled in to testify in front of Congress, based on this new bombshell information coming out. Now, interestingly enough, it came out today that former CNN head, Jeff Zucker, may talking about the lab leak theory forbidden on CNN. He didn't want Trump to be right about anything. So he purposely buried the details for over 2 years. Basically, do not talk about this, even if it's true, even if the evidence points in that direction. Do everything to cover for Fauci and give Trump no correct answer. Sirs. So pretty irritating, to be honest. And then, so I've been telling you folks that AOC is not just a democratic socialist who is terrible in all of her views and obnoxious, also she's incredibly corrupt. And now we have the proof. AOC begged to go to the exclusive Met Gala, even if it meant breaking the rules. According to the New York Post columnist, AOC really wanted to attend this September 2021 Med Ball. A charity event for its Costume Institute, yes, but also the world's #1 social event for the rich, famous and beautiful, but the $35,000 tickets for 2 people would cost nearly 6 figures. Members of Congress can attend nonprofit events. But DeMent doesn't normally invite all of Congress, and this isn't AOC's district, so she decided to trade off for elected position. In order to get the tickets, she snagged 2 free tickets by cozying up to Vogue's Anna Wintour, who runs the show for the Met. LC's written invitation specifically informed her she and her boyfriend were guests of Vogue. There's one problem. Members of Congress can't take near 7-figure gifts from companies that employ lobbyists. Vogue is part of a sprawling media firm that, including the firm that owns a big piece of Spectrum, or highly regulated internet provider AOC, as anti-corruption Mortar even warned her staff, quote, the Congresswoman could accept an invitation from the Met but not from Vogue. Well, that was the morning after, because a Vogue staffer informed as his office the day after the ball. Hope the Congresswoman had a great time last night. Even though she was the guest to vote, we were planning to say she was guest Amanda Wintour's wanted to check with you. Well, it turns out that not only did she do her best to try to go to this thing illegally, it also turns out that she took a bunch of favors that are political favors. AOC is lawyer sure to congressional ethics officials just after the gala at the Congresswoman is paying personally for all the other benefits, including the rental value of her dress, handbag and accessories, shoes, hair and makeup, transportation and hotel room for staging. But the problem is that you don't have money for that. So what do? Well, she just didn't pay them. They called up some of the service providers for campaign and they tucked down a $1,300 dress down to $300. And then they asked people to provide these things for free. To her husband apparently should not pay her makeup artist for 6 months after the ethics investigation started. It was like $344 by the way. Her hairstyles representative emailed AOC staff it would look terrible if we had to file a complaint with the New York Department of Labor against AOC. Transportation costs $586. It wasn't until May 2022, 8 months after the gala, that AOC reimbursed Condé Nast for her $180 share. Why she didn't split the bill is beyond us. Because again, everybody was there because of her. She didn't reimburse the designer their hotel bill, which is a $4,600 hotel, though until May 2022. She didn't reimburse her boyfriend's shoes and bow tie until May 2022. She didn't reimburse the car service from Carlisle to the museum until May. The only person paid was the manicurist. So AOC, she is just a wonderful, wonderful person. Again, these are the people the Democrats have chosen to feature. Maybe this is one reason why Joe Manchin from West Virginia, who is running a very competitive Senate race now, maybe that's one reason why he's like, I'm not necessarily going to endorse the Democrats at this point. That's a little awkward for me. Who was Joe Manchin over the weekend? Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts below and hit subscribe.